All right. Good afternoon, everybody. It is now 4:30, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We'll start with the pledge by Scott and followed by prayer. So everybody stand, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, we thank you for this time that we can spend. And Lord, we thank you for the country we live in and the opportunities we have. Lord, we ask that you keep the citizens of this county on each and every one of our minds as we make the decisions, what's best for them. Thank you. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. So we'll jump right into the minutes. I think those were sent out by the auditor's office a few weeks ago.
I'll second.
All right.
I don't know who approved it. Second.
Scott missed out on seconding, so I heard Bobby and Kenan. So, all right. So any additions, changes, or corrections? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Mr. Murphy.
Good afternoon, council. 3 items for you. Earlier this year, we applied for an EPA assessment grant, and we learned in late June that we were awarded. So that's $500,000 for phase 1 environmental assessments anywhere in the county, commercial or industrial property. Of course, the property owner needs to be willing to partner, but this is our 3rd grant in the last 10 years, and it is a phenomenal tool. So I appreciate the county allowing us to apply for that. We're in the process of going through the paperwork with the EPA, and I would say the funds will be available in the fall. And so we'll advertise that to the community. We also are partners in a program called the Regional Entrepreneurial Pipeline, and everything needs an acronym. So that's REAP, Regional Entrepreneurial Pipeline. Rush County Economic Development is the lead on that. It was a grant from the IEDC. And so it is entrepreneurship programming that's going to be offered in Rush, Fayette, and Henry County. And so that was a $40,000 grant that we're partners on. Good news is that doesn't flow through county government. No grant administration. It's just giving you guys an update. And finally, I sent you an email. You've been invited as all elected officials across the county. If I have their email address, I invited them, but we're offering 2 educational opportunities on tax increment finance, July 22nd at noon. And then the same programming, July 29th in the evening at 6. That's going to be at the Newcastle Municipal Building in their council chambers. And Baker Tilly will be the presenter. We just want to do some education and outreach on tax increment finance.
Do you need an RSVP?
I don't.
22nd.
July 22nd at noon, July 29th at 6 p.m. We're trying to reach as many people, leaders, elected officials as possible. And so that's why we're offering in that framework.
An hour, 2 hours?
1 hour, including question and answer.
Strongly recommend everybody going if they can, because it's extremely beneficial. It's something that it's been an extremely powerful tool for this community for the past few decades, and it's got a lot of misinformation out there. So it'll be good to understand it.
And then in consultation with the county attorney, I will be doing a blanket notice that is compliant with the open door law that allows if a quorum of you show up on either day, we're fine, because we will have given appropriate notice that may be a possibility, and that's in working with Joel.
Repeat the times again on the 29th.
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Thank you.
And all of that is in the attachment in the email, and I'll probably send it out again one more time as a reminder.
Before you leave the squawk box, is the EPA the same as brownfields that we talked about 7 or 8 months ago? Is that
It
the one?
is,
And you were successful.
yes.
Good.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it. I don't see Cade. So do you want to take the point on this one, Bobby, for the park? On this fund? I know technically, I believe we have to take a motion to take this off the table to follow our protocol with Robert's
I will
rules.
make the motion to take it off the table.
So I have a motion to take the park funding off the table. So, hey, we got Scott in there for the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Now, Bobby, if you'd
Okay,
like
so I haven't been in any conversation. Unfortunately, I haven't been in any conversation since our last meeting, except I asked Debbie if she had found out the information that there was some confusion on. You might know more about this, but basically what this ordinance does is instead of them having two funds, the 1179 fund and 1117 fund, I think it puts everything into the 1179 fund, but you may have more information that Debbie was getting than I do.
Sure. So I know one of the big sticking points was, will this impact the, the breakdown from the tax increments? And it will not have any impact on it. Even if we budget this money, it will not cause that to change. So it will not have any budgetary funding issues. And I think that was the biggest question that Shannon had brought up as a concern, because we don't want to make a change here that actually impacts it negatively somewhere else. So that was the big thing that Baker Tilly come back and confirmed, that there is no, that will not have an impact on the levy. So anybody else have any other thoughts, questions, concerns?
I still think it has an impact, and that's just my opinion, and it can be different than Baker Tilly's, and that's okay. It doesn't have a major impact because the dollar amounts are not that big.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll take Baker Tilly's word for it.
and the thing is that we can also address that in the budget session and we'll have Paige and Jason here that first day of our session, at least one of them, I think. So I think we're going to have to address that in the budget. I mean, for this year, I don't know that it makes. Yeah, so I mean, Bobby is the liaison. What do you recommend? I know I asked.
I'm meeting with Cade next week. I mean, Cade, we have not met over the budget. I mean, in my mind, if we pass this tonight and it becomes one fund, it becomes one fund. I'm sorry, we pay our financial advisor to give us financial advice. If they say it's not going to have an impact, I believe that it's not going to have an impact. It can always be changed back down the road if we see something. If it does have an impact, it's not going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars or even tens of thousands of dollars. I would suggest that we just put it back into one fund, because it was originally in one fund and it didn't cause any problems whatsoever when it was originally in one fund. My opinion is what we should do. And if for some reason we see that it's going to, I mean, this is not something that's permanent, set in stone, and we can never change back.
I have a question. If I side with Shannon, can we save the money for Baker Tilly?
Can you what?
I mean, again, I understand Shannon's thought pattern. I'm not sure how we budget it and it doesn't impact the levy, but if they're telling us that it doesn't, because we do budget these funds, that's where it does seem kind of confusing. Because normally when we budget a levy account, it automatically will take that levy to that point when we set with the DLGF. And so that is, I understand the confusion, and I think there needed to be more clarity asked on that. So I guess we could ask the question, since we are going to have our budget sessions coming up here, would it be better to table this again until after the budget session and make sure we address it properly, or just go now and then change it at the budget session if we need to? That's the options. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not picking on you, Kelly. I'm picking on Bobby because Bobby's got more experience with this.
Things for you guys. So
Yeah.
we would have to enter them, and then that's usually we can't only go down. We can't.
Right.
Yeah, and so, but this is a weird fund, and because it's revenue that we don't know the revenue, what the revenue is going to be. Like, I mean, back when I was on the park board, it was tens of thousands of dollars in revenue. So I would have assumed that it's that or
No, I'm
more
saying
now.
Affecting the levy.
Yeah, but it would still, if you put that tens of thousands of dollars in there and then they would get those funds plus the levy funds, then it would have those tens of thousands of dollars in impact. I mean, it could almost be a person in the
I think we're
impact.
complicating it, but that's my personal opinion. I think we're trying to complicate it.
I
I,
just
I,
know
I
it's
think we're
always
trying to
somebody
second guess
like
what Baker
$90,000.
Tilly's saying, you know, if we're not gonna take Baker
Well,
Tilly's advice, then we need to not use Baker Tilly. And we'll just let every councilman decide what's best for the council and move forward.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion about it or any action?
I'm ready to make a motion to proceed with the ordinance. I do put a lot of stock in Baker Tilly. I don't think they've ever steered us wrong. And that's not to discount what Shannon says, but I think this ordinance is well-written and legitimate, and I do put a lot of stock in Baker Tilly.
So that's a motion.
I would make a motion
I
that
have a
we
motion.
I will second that motion.
accept.
I have a motion to move forward as presented, seconded by Bobby. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
We have 6-1. I do think it's something we'll want to clarify with Paige that day, just to be sure that we budget everything properly and it turns out in the long run. Okay, next up, we have the Sheriff's Retirement and Benefit Plan McCready document that was sent out. This is something we should receive on an annual basis. I think it's a little later this year, but does anybody have any questions? I think we just accept this, right? It's not that we're approving it or doing anything.
Did they send an abstract or Cliff Notes?
You should have received it.
I got it.
Well, that's what you got. No, this is a very detailed. I have not met with these folks. Bobby, you may have met with them sooner than I had the last time. The last time I had the opportunity to meet with them directly, I was told we were a very well-funded retirement plan.
Yeah.
Was the words,
Jay-
matter of fact, to
Jay
one of the
can
best
speak.
in the state.
Jay can speak volumes on it.
It's obviously been 3 years since I met with them, but at that point, we were very well funded.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion that we approve this plan.
Okay, Mason motion, we accept it. Okay. I got it.
Second.
All right. Jay and Mike. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. All right. The Equipment Fund report. Again, this is just a report that we accept. We don't necessarily approve the expenditures or do anything on this. We just accept this as the report that they're required, I believe now quarterly, to provide to us as the council. Any thoughts, questions, concerns, or actions?
I think this came about legislatively because one of the sheriffs in the state down by the river absconded with a lot of commissary money. And so it went from twice a year to 4 times a year. So maybe somebody can catch wrongdoing.
Yeah, I know there's an entire division at State Board of Accounts for Sheriff's Department commissary now. So I'm sure that has something to do with this.
I'll move to accept the report.
Motion by Shannon, second by
I'll second.
by Mike. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, last one is the sheriff's cash book. And this one just shows all the receipts ins and out. It's not, again, it's just one we accept. This doesn't show the expenditures. It just shows their receipts, the funds that they receive.
Move to accept.
Hey, motion by Shannon, seconded by Scott. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. All right, next up. We tabled the TS Tech abatement. So if we would like to revisit this, we will need to take that off the table.
I'll move to take it off the table.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor of removing the TS Tech abatement from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. So, Shannon, if you want to speak for the
can.
abatement committee, we met
Yeah,
and
the
I'll let-
abatement-
I think we chose Shannon to be our speaker.
The abatement committee met a week or so ago and discussed the filing, which was difficult to read and not complete. We did some checking on when the county actually received that report. We ran a few things by Joel. The committee would like to unanimously recommend that we deny this report based on its incompleteness and its lack of being to us by May 15th. So that's the recommendation of the committee.
Well, in doing so and denying this, it actually denies their abatement.
It does for this year.
It would
Yes.
deny their abatement for this year. The concerns were that the report was incomplete, illegible, and the abatement that was even referenced in the report was from back in 2007, which has long since been over.
Yeah.
And it's not their latest abatement. So that is the thing. I do see there's a gentleman here from TS Tech. If you're willing to, if you have anything you would like to add to this.
Can you come up to
You
the,
mind coming, just so
Yeah.
we have to catch everything on the cameras now, sir. Yeah, it's completely illegible.
We have an outside firm that does all of our property tax information, and I was told that it was submitted on the 12th and certified on the 12th, mailed on the 12th. That's what Ben said. That's, I have to go by what he said.
Our auditor's office received it on the 21st, 20th or 21st, and it's due the 15th. And again, this is what we received. So you are understanding there, Robert? I mean, it's completely illegible. You cannot read this. And this isn't this isn't from copying. This is the original.
Robert, I'd like to just acknowledge that I'm glad you're here because in denying it, that's really our only course of action based on what we have. You then, if we deny it, then TS Tech has the ability to file the appeal to have,
Fill this.
yes, and that's how we can get more information. So that's this, we're taking this step because that's the most logical step for us.
It makes me feel better that it's an outside company that's handling it, that's made, I'll say made the mistake or error versus you guys. It makes me feel better.
May have to look for a new firm.
I didn't say that at all.
That's not what we're implying, but it might not be a bad idea.
You can ask then that we accept it with the, I guess you could probably categorize it as typographical errors, since you can't read it, as well as the late filing. We have to conduct a public hearing on it, so as soon as that request can be made and submitted, updated information be submitted to the county, it will help. Just so we can get on the agenda for next month, because we have to
Okay.
advertise for the hearing at least 10 days in advance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So,
probably within the next week or so would be ideal, so then we can get the notice published.
Okay. I'll get him on this tomorrow.
We get about 7 or 8 of these from Boar's Head too, and they're all done by an outside firm, I think from Florida.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'll make the motion to deny.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion by Shannon and a second by Bobby. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor of denying the abatement, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, next up is the abatement that we tabled for Draper. We need to do the same thing and take it off the table if we want to discuss.
Move to take it off the table.
Second,
I think Kenan beat you. So I got Shannon and Kenan.
I think it was Scott.
Danny, Kennan needs one. So we have a motion to take this off the table. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Shannon?
Yeah, we have representatives from Draper here. We met with them, and I'd like to just invite them up to provide some explanation.
Thank you. And I sent, do you guys have this in a packet or anything? Yes.
No, we don't have that one in our packet. No.
That's fine. Say I just sent it to Corey.
Corey's slacking. He didn't forward it to everybody.
Thank you.
The same information.
Yeah, we've, oh,
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to present briefly here this afternoon. The information that's in front of you for the Tax Abatement Committee, actually, let me back up. Alexis Souter, I'm a director with KSM Location Advisors. I'm here, standing up here this afternoon on behalf of Draper, but I do want for the record to show that the CFO with Draper, Jerry Crone, is here in the audience. So as we kind of work through this information, if there are business specific questions that may be more beneficial answered by Jerry as opposed to me, but here this afternoon to not ask for action on anything. We want to take the opportunity. We had the opportunity to run through all of this with your Tax Abatement Committee, but need to bring the full council into the conversation. And so what we have in front of you is really just kind of an overview of an abatement that was approved back in October of 2022. And I just kind of walk us through what was approved in 22, really what ended up happening, and then really what we're gonna, hopefully, if you guys are in agreement to take this issue up at your August meeting for, with proper public notice and a public hearing that we would be asking for your approval. So going back to 2022, there was a 10-year real and personal property tax abatement that was approved for Draper's facility at 411 South Pearl Street. The real property was covering the expansion, roughly 100,000 square feet, that really ultimately ended up resulting in an estimated 8 million increase in their real property assessed value. Again, standard 10-year real property abatement was approved for that expansion. For the personal property, they had applied for and council approved a 10-year personal property tax abatement on roughly $2 million worth of machinery and equipment. So this was a new paint line, this was a powder booth, wash system, dry off oven, cure oven, as would have been stated on the statement of benefits. I think the large takeaway is that all of these investments were made. The real estate itself was developed. The machinery and equipment itself has been purchased and it has since been installed. But what happened was, as it relates to, so yeah, we've got two buckets. As it relates to the real property, building was completed on schedule. COO would have been issued in November of 23. Improvements came on the tax rolls just as it should have. There were compliance filings that were missed, just with a prior consultant being involved. And so there was no CF1 or 322 filed for 24 and 25 tax years. And effectively that resulted in Draper paying, the full real property tax bill, right, for this expansion. For the personal property, paint line equipment was all ordered on time, but there were supply chain issues with the vendor, certainly outside of Draper's control. And so that equipment itself was not placed in service until Q1 of this year. And so that's not come on the tax rolls yet. That's not been on any personal, they've not paid any personal property taxes on it yet because, again, not on the rolls. So on that handout that you all are looking at, we kind of just have by column, I wanted to illustrate what was originally approved back in 22. And then again, not asking for any action today, but ultimately what we're asking for is hopefully you guys to take it up at your August meeting to effectively amend the real property tax abatement so that we don't want to be retroactive and say, hey, in theory, if we had, if we had submitted compliance filings, we would have had an abatement schedule kickoff. Draper paid the full taxes. So we would like to ask for you all to consider that this year's filing, the 26 pay 27 tax year, kind of be year one, that this year triggers the start of what was approved, that 10-year real property tax abatement. The second request then relates to the personal property. And what we would ask for your consideration on is to effectively amend the investment window. Getting really into the weeds, but if you go back to that statement of benefits form, we would have put on that SB1 that all of the equipment was going to be installed, up and running by July 31st of 2024. That didn't happen, right? And so what we really need to do is extend that investment window so that that equipment that was installed Q1 of 26 can actually be qualified expenditures, and that the auditor doesn't kick that out when we, would go to file compliance filings. We've taken a stab at working on resolution language. I am not a lawyer, so I know your legal counsel is reviewing. And again, completely agree that the best approach here is to formally public notice and have a public hearing and a vote next month, if that's something that you all are willing to take up. But ultimately just here to try to help you all make sense of what happened and how we got here, and then ultimately what we're asking for. With that, I definitely want to open it up to any questions. I know that's a lot to kind of throw at council at one time, but again, took last month to go meet with the tax abatement committee and kind of start transparently having this conversation.
We appreciate that and all the information. We did ask questions of Draper related to why didn't the equipment get installed? And they had a series of unfortunate issues with contractors as well as equipment delays that I think most of us in many businesses have experienced equipment delays, and certainly contractors that we have had issues with. So the tax abatement recommended that we bring to the full committee this option to have this hearing in August. Joel has the amendments that he's going to be making some final adjustments to. And then do we need to take action tonight to put that into place for the?
I think if I just had a consensus, that's how you wanted to move forward with it, to have the hearing considered.
Okay. That was the consensus of the abatement committee. If the rest of the council is in agreement, we can go that direction.
The only other thing I will add is when we went through everything, they did meet all of the construction equipment. They did fall short on the employee count. However, they exceeded the payroll because the payroll has increased. The overall dollars have increased. So, and I'm assuming that's from a myriad of things, from raises to automation to just everything, the way the world has functioned post-COVID and the way the world works now. But so the dollars that are being paid in payroll exceed the original number. The employee count is less than the original number. But the investment, as far as the hard investment in assets and capital investment, and that did meet what they had set forth in the original abatement. So basically, they're just asking for us to hit a reset button and say, instead of starting in 24, we're going to start in 26. And that's what basically that's the premise of this. And they paid the full taxes, as she said, these past couple of years. They got zero abatement on it. So it's not like they're extending that in any time frame. It would still be the same original 10-year step down, standard 10% per year step down abatement that was approved. And I believe that's what they're going to ask for this time as well. So it's not changing anything other than the start date.
You just need consensus to have it.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how you really entertain.
Because I don't think did we come to a council consensus to do the same thing for TS Tech as well?
Correct. Yeah.
We need to do the same thing. So, yeah, count for both, public hearing for both.
I certainly think we should hold a hearing.
We can't come to a consensus on a public hearing for TS Tech until they
Until
file.
they file,
right.
until they file. They have to file.
They have to file.
Yes.
Okay, so I apologize.
Yeah. And they have technically asked by filing through their representative, so
Yeah.
to Joel. So I guess I'll take a roll call. Kenan? Scott?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, unanimous. We'll see you next month, guys.
Good, appreciate it. Thank you. All right.
Joel, you'll work with them directly, and if you need to involve the abatement committee, get with me, Corey, we can pull everybody back together if we need to, but I think we got it. All right. Next up, we have the tip allocation areas. So we'll start with Middletown. So these are what that has to be provided every single year to the council. And in this one, there's no excess value they're passing through. It is, yes. So there is nothing in Middletown. So we just accept this.
Yeah,
that's all
motion
it
to
is.
accept.
All right. All those approved signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimous or accepted unanimously.
Just tell us at the next meeting that you want to second everything and we'll shut up.
All right, so this is the Southwest allocation, Northwest allocation, Indiana Avenue allocation, North Village housing allocation, Walnut Street allocation, and Garner Street. This is from the city.
So moved.
Second.
Oh, that was Scott that made
Change it up
that.
on.
Okay, all those who approve to accept signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, accepted unanimously. Knightstown,
So moved.
Second.
all right, all those that approve to accept signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Carries unanimously. Lastly is the RDC. Corey, do you want to make any notes on the RDC? I
That's
mean,
good. Second.
we did we did offer a pass through on excess, right? With the RDC out at this.
Northwest quadrant.
Yeah, the north, I've tried to find it in the notes here. There it is. Bingo. Passed it. Yeah, so we did pass 308. The RDC did approve to pass 380,000 of excess value back to the county and overlapping taxing districts in the northwest quadrant, northwest I-70, I should say, quadrant allocation. So they did pass back some value, which does bring some value to the county and other taxing districts.
Should we send a thank you note?
I thought you'd give us a fruit tray, Ken, or cookies at least. You're normally good for cookies, sir.
I'll ask my wife.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we got a motion second.
I'll second.
Mike. All right, all those in favor of approving signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, anything that the council would like to bring before the body?
This has nothing really to do with the council, but I want to make sure that all of you had seen it. Mandy Fleming, Director of Henry County EMS, within the last 2 weeks, I can't remember the exact date, became a national certified paramedic. So now she is a paramedic, and I believe that makes the 5th paramedic that Henry County EMS, don't quote me on that number, I could be wrong, 4 or 5 paramedics that Henry County EMS now employs. So congratulations, Mandy Fleming. She will be mad at me for doing this, but that's a big accomplishment because she did this. Not only did she do her day job, she also became a paramedic, which is very difficult to do. So she continued to work hard and diligently of a day at Henry County EMS while also becoming a paramedic. So congratulations, Mandy.
I agree. Congratulations and thank you for service. Anybody have anything?
Yeah, July 20th, right here in this room, we will have the tax council meeting, joint meeting with the city council and all the other invited taxing authorities. We'll see how many of them decide to attend. I assume that those notices have been got out and they're good to go.
I need to still mail, but Greg knows. Yeah.
Awesome. So
What time is that? 5?
5 PM, July 20th. We have you guys been compiling all of those? Probably not, because they're going to Debbie, right? Are you getting them? Okay. I have compiled them the last few years. I did get an email from Joel that I will forward to everyone that Joel has reviewed the ordinances that, or the statutes, and he is, of the opinion that we can, accept everybody's previous applications as applying again. So if anybody didn't get their application in by July 1st, we can still consider doing the exact same thing that we did last year. So that will be an option for the tax council on the 20th.
And I'm going to be out of the area, so I can zoom in, and if there's a vote, I can, as long as I'm on video.
visible.
Okay.
Double check that, because I know there was some issues with voting via over Zoom on taxes. Double check
I'll
that,
double check that.
because I think the statute changed that, and I don't believe you can zoom in to do anything to do with
Let me
taxes.
know.
I'll have
So
to check.
double check on that one,
Maybe when
because
you're enacting a tax, but it may also be when you're voting on a tax. I'll look and see how.
because I know there is some verbiage that changed with the new laws on making us all record and stuff, that may not be possible.
I have something also to add for the council.
Sir, go ahead.
We built a ramp on the east side of the courthouse. I want to publicly thank Mike for coming by and helping, and Bill Upchurch for coming by and helping, and Joe Wiley, Commissioner, coming by and helping. Because the west side, which is the only ADA accessible currently, is going to be shut down for some reno the next 3 weeks. So this is a temporary ramp. It totally volunteers. So we have to tear it down when they're done with the west, but we get the wood for saws, but it's officially not all saws.
You're gonna donate the wood to Saul.
They're going to donate the wood to saw.
Well, that's,
We just
thank you.
we,
Appreciate your work, guys.
yeah, we basically saved the county about $8,000. But we appreciate the wood afterwards. The other thing is E EIRPC. Clara Judd is the most recent director of the E EIRPC. I'm the rep. She's officially an Okra grant writer, so she's encouraging all the counties that are part of EIRPC to work through her for Okra grants. So both ARA and E EIRPC, we really need to tap those, because there's a lot of available monies out there that we may not be taking advantage of. That's it.
Thank you, Ken. And again, thank you for your service and help. Anyone from the council have anything else? Anything from the masses? Yes, sir. Sorry, you got to come to the box so we can get everything on the camera, man. Sorry.
I'd just like the council to recognize Commissioner Steve Dellinger. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Steve.
I didn't know that.
We did it publicly at the commissioners meeting. He was a little embarrassed, so he can be embarrassed again. So happy birthday, Steve.
You want to sing, Bobby?
No, no,
Kelly, I think that's the auditor's job.
no, no.
I'll sing, but you guys will all leave.
All right, anyone else? Thank you. Appreciate it. And happy birthday, Steve. Anybody have anything else? With that, I'll take a motion. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
See me if you want brought tickets.